the goal of this video is to discuss how to make the Wathier bed. So what we have is I took all the seats out of the van, and it's a very easy process. This particular van was an SE low-end model because at first I thought I was going to put a cooler in between the two seats, but I realized the Dometic CF11 is just too small, and then I saw other people can fit the cooler right here pretty well, so I figured I upgraded to the CFX345, and so this particular SE model had the bench seat, so that's an easy lift out with a couple of levers and you can take the whole bench seat out. You don't have to actually unbolt anything on the front. There are other videos if you have the stow and go that you have to go in there and just unbolt it. Not too hard, but just make sure you're safe. And then the second thing is they did have the stow and go 2 seats in the back, which you take, I think it's 6 or 8 bolts out and the plastic trim, a couple of screws, and then they come out. I did find that it popped on me and could have hurt me, and it hit my arm pretty good. So make sure you have them vertical. The seats should not be in the well. They should be up and out of the well when you try to take them out, if at all possible. So what I then did to make the Wathier bed, if that's how you pronounce your name, I appreciate I think Nick, who did such a great job, and I'm really doing a lot of the stuff that he did, and I give kudos to the Van Pacifica, can't remember his name as well, he did some great work as well. But I went to Home Depot, and using the drawings that Nick had created, I bought a sheet of plywood, plywood, and as you can see over here, a really nice thing you can do is go to Home Depot or Lowe's is you can have them do the cuts for you. So I had them do the cuts for me. It was much easier to transport in the car then. So they did the 3 cuts for me for the base of the bed. And then I also bought 3 2x4x8s and had them do 2 58-inch cuts and 2 30.5-inch cuts, and was easy to transport at home as well, so I didn't have to do all that heavy lifting there. I will have to make some cutouts for that 1.5 inches on either side to make it kind of like an L in one of the sections, but I'll do that later. And then what I did was the extra pieces I took inside the house and made all the measurements. It's kind of cold right here, so I basically made all the measurements and marked ready to go where I'm going to make my cuts on all the different pieces by the schematics that Nick had put up. And then I have this miter saw that I use, but you can use a hand saw or whatever, but it's just kind of easy to have a power tool, obviously. And I'll go through and make all these cuts, and I'm not sure if I'll show you that, but then I'll start building it either out here on the floor of the garage or maybe in there. I'll probably start out here, then move it in and see how things go, because I'm going to use a 6-inch mattress, and the 6-inch mattress is different, so there's going to be a bigger gap. So I'm thinking of adding a hinge, but we'll see what happens. So that's the first part, and hopefully everything goes well. So I'm back. I just did a bunch of cuts with the different tools, and let me go over the tools that I used. It was very helpful to have a miter saw. I'm not sure if this is, I think this is a 10-inch miter saw, and allowed you to make cuts very easily for all the different pieces, and according with the directions that are downloadable. A difficult one is this angle cut, and the miter saw allowed me to get pretty far until I had to then use a Sawzall. I have this old beat up Sawzall that got me the last 1/2 inch or so, and then I used the same miter tool to cut out the different pieces of plywood. It's pretty easy measurement, 1/2 inch in, 6 inches down, and then I used the miter saw to cut down along that, and then I used the Sawzall to make the final cut. And then I also used the miter to actually do the angle cut at the end of the long 32-inch section of the plywood, and that was pretty easy, except it's hard to balance it, so I used some of the blocks of wood to balance this piece of wood so that it could be level on the on this and cut it. Just be very careful because it's not as secure as normal, and it could pull your hand toward it as you're working with it. For those of you watching along, you put the main beam as far back as you can to the load line, and then you measure up to wherever you can get it solidly sitting on the foot, which is about 19 inches from his directions, but you can vary it slightly. The next question is, how high do you want it? And we're going to use some plastic tubs. So we need to make sure the front is at least high enough or just high enough for the plastic tubs and for a reasonable knee bend when you're sitting in the couch, and as well as considering how tall it is and not hitting the ceiling. So, and we can put some temporary screws in to get the height of the of it going, and then keep moving them up and down. These are from Walmart, Sterilite 66 quart, 62 liter under bed storage roller kind of things, which seem to
7 inches tall.
7 inches tall. So now we need to make the bed frame just slightly above that. So the way I'm going to check to see how far back it can go is to close the door, push it all the way back, and offset it maybe a 1/4 inch, and then set the rear thing there. And on a 2017 Dodge Caravan, it says load to this line right here, so we're going to take it right to there. I think these are 2.5 inch drywall screws for right now.
Nice.
Okay, so now let's flip those around. So we had pre-cut the middle legs and the front legs up there. So the front leg doesn't go on the side, but it actually goes underneath. So one thing you have to do is make sure your van is level, which is not easy to do. Usually you measure the ground, and if that's level, then your van's level. Little ones here. Let me get you the screws.
These ones?
It doesn't really matter, it just needs to be back to the...
We just need it to be a little bit stable so I can put the mattress on and see if it's right.
What's on the outside, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Alright, we're going to put the piece of plywood on, and temporarily put it on there, and then see if it's the right height. I pre-drilled the hole so it wouldn't hurt the stuff.
Split.
Wouldn't split.
Give a,
Nice. So we do one side.
You push that side back towards the wall?
This?
Yeah.
So we're leveling the front to back, and we figured out the front was the right height for the 6-inch mattress and the headspace and leaning back. So now we're just lowering the back to get it level when the van is level.
That way this will be basically wedged in there.
Yeah, which is good.
Well, yeah.
Either way.
That'll be good.
Yep. It may impact the size of any drawers you want to make, but for us, these tubs will be fine. So then we're going to make the cuts with the miter saw. So I put the other one, put the other one back in that we just cut, and then took the other one out, and now we're cutting that.
Not quite. I think it was just stripping.
Yeah, should have pre-drilled. Maybe I pre. Just pre-drilling and make it easy for the screw to go in. Make sure you get in that hole though.
Nice.
Okay.
So you guys move the whole thing this way?
Yeah, just move the whole thing this way. So you have to move the whole. You have to move the whole thing forward to be able to put the middle leg in. So we're going to take it out of the van right now and then work on it out here.
We can get it out.
We're just putting the T's on right now.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Cool. So we'll do the rest, right?
Yeah.
And this we're going to cut it down, right?
Yeah, I guess we should probably just. We'll put it back in. Figure out if all set is set and done, and then we'll take it out again and put all the other screws in. Probably makes sense.
So should we do the other side too?
Yeah, we do that side. So 3.5. You said, right?
Yeah. Good T.
Screws to the front.
Is it against the... Here, hold.
I gotta vacuum again. I vacuumed the whole thing.
I know, I was thinking... I'll take it, but now it's clean dirt. Yeah, looks good.
What we decided to do is add a support right here. So we measured it. For us, it was 9 3/4. So we're going to have the two tubs under there. They're going to be pulling out, and we're going to have. We noticed it bowed quite a bit when a person sat on it. Not too much, but somewhat. So we're going to put a center support right in the middle. It was 9 3/4. So we're going to make sure the tubs fit in here before we screw it in.
Actually. Well, let's try it this way. Yep.
Oh, so they can go in from the other side. Drill 2 holes. Put 2 in there.
Hope my aim is right.
Yep, looks good.
Yes.
Now it's time to do the angle support, the back support. This is how it comes out of the.
Flip it over.
To do the angles, we probably should do it from that side up.
Should we just do the T's first?
Yeah, we can do the T's first. So we're putting the T's both on the inside and the outside just to give it some extra support. And we got I bought from Walmart a Spa Sensations 6-inch memory foam mattress. Yep, so we're letting it air out outside and expand. I'm sure it takes a while. Now we're going to add extra screws to the back
Do you go
supports.
from the inside?
From
I don't want to go from the outside though.
You can do it either way. Well,
Just to like.
you can't get them out that way if you had to deal with it later. Is the only reason. But you can't get the teeth either, so I don't know if it really matters.
There we go. Any one more here?
Right there. Do the other one.
Got it?
Yep. You can back it out and pull it. So now we'll do the swing arm for the back, for the cross back. Oh, I need to get the. You can use is these nylon lock nuts, and then they can go in and stay firm, but you don't have to tighten them down all the way, so the whole thing can swing on the pivot of this bolt. Let's see. So you basically want a hole size that you drill out, the size of this 5/16 bolt. So you go up here and see what size is bigger than that. That looks like the good drill bit, and we'll drill out that hole based on the measurements in this diagram of 2 inches back from the end, and then I think it is actually the distance from the angle. If you start at it from the angle side, measure down at 1 3/4 inches.
Oh, there's 1 3/4.
And then 2 inches back from here.
That's good.
So that's it, right there.
I'm gonna have to go.
So
in.
2 inches back and 1 3/4 on the angle side. What was that?
I'm gonna have to go in.
Oh, okay. Then Jesse can take over here.
Yep.
All right, Jess, you want to
Take it.
drill this for me? Good. Sounds good.
I bought you a new chair.
This one, you can set right here. Now test it, see if this can go through it. Not easily. We did need a bigger one. Go ahead. I don't think you drilled the other one out, did you? You never made it bigger.
Yeah.
Always start it before you put it in. Well, not really, just not too much pressure on it, then yeah, start it in. Now we're gonna have to do the same thing down where the T we put on, so we actually have to, we might have done it wrong. So we have to take that off and put the T in a different location. No, the other T on the other side is holding it. That's good. Other way, you gotta, this side. Hold it. You gotta put this here so it doesn't get too tight. Oh, the other side. The T on the other side's in the way.
There's the screw.
You got the other one?
Or the other one.
too hard, too fast. But. So now we need the back. Oh, you can move it back. There we go. Okay, there we go.
My favorite episode of Community so far is Batman. Yes, it's so good. I sleep, but no, I never sleep because I'm Batman. But sometimes, after I sleep.
This becomes very important for the size of the mattress. So we want to put this on temporarily, and then, because it's okay if there's a gap over here ultimately. You know what I mean? If it's
Like you don't want that mattress hanging over the edge of it.
Well, no. Well, it needs to be taller. The opening needs to be taller than the than the mattress.
So I'll put the mattress on top there. See how much we need.
This is a good size. It's like it's not even. I guess it's continuing to expand. Huh.
So we need to put the mattress on top of here. See how much clearance we need, and then. Probably so.
Can you get those thin pieces over there, Justin? Yep.
Well, we know we need this to be at a certain angle, so we could put this piece in here. Because we know this just needs to be flush with this bottom, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we can just, so it's easier to work, we can put this in
I
here.
guess the question is does this need to be out a little bit?
You already cut this piece, right?
Yeah, that's
You can at
all.
least put that in temporarily.
Which?
Those ones with the angles,
Oh, the blocks, you mean?
just so it's resting, and then we could do the work.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is too much pressure on it.
So we want to, yeah, I guess we can put those in at least. So this is the horizontal vertical stop. This angle would be angled.
It should be, yeah. The top is angled back,
Or this, yeah, for in the horizontal position.
like this. And I can just slide this back for now.
Now we're just going to put the back piece on, give it some structural stability, then we'll put them in and out just to make sure that rotating arm is at the right location, and we'll work on that in a minute. So why don't you screw these in first? Make sure they're correct. Don't forget where the screws.
very lightly, gently. I'll get a screw. So those screws are terrible.
Huh, that's weird. They're not strong screws.
That's weird. Where's that drill bit? Did you have it in your... For some reason, whatever. Alright, so now you can... Here. Drill bit too hot. Let's use these screws. Actually, here, do it up here more. I think it'd be easier to just take this out and put it back in again.
What?
If you can lift this up just to make it cool higher. Make it a little higher, so it's a little higher. Just slightly, yeah, just a little down. Interesting. All right.
So when that happens, it tells me I should pre-drill. Cracking again. I can put some more screws. I'll put 2 more screws in here. Better. I have 1 more of these little screws. So we have the pivot bolt in right now. We had 2 people. 1 person was holding up this so this is level when it rotates forward. We didn't have this screwed in yet, but we had it flush here and even here. Then we put this stop in and screwed that in. That stop in. So now it's resting on here. Then we're going to go work on the back stop, which to give what angle do we want that rear rest to be. And that's what we're going to work on right now. So if you put it up, that's too far back, so we have to have it at a certain angle, probably like right about there. And let's put the stop here. And when you put this up here, make sure you leave at least it should be probably a half-inch gap, half-inch gap right here, so it can slide over this. You can always shave this down, but if you don't want to do that, you can leave a half-inch gap right here. Then I also measured the back here, and it looks like this is about 5.5 inches, and I think our 6-inch mattress is not fully 6 inches, so not that it really matters, but it might be able to slide through from the back. Well, it won't be because it's too narrow for this, but we'll be working on that in a moment. So for the backrest, it says it's 14 3/4 inches back from the bottom with the corner of that piece of wood, where that angle, oh, the bottom is 14 3/4 and the top is 16 3/8. So make those two measurements at the bottom and the top of that 2x4, and then angle it that way and screw it in. Let's check to see how that looks though before we put the other one in. Pretty good.
Is it how?
That's
Is
the
there
back.
going to be anything underneath?
Yeah, there's going to be the cushion, and then we're going to get some cushions on
Okay.
here. He didn't have any cushions on the back, but
So that would add a little bit of extra.
so. Let's, why don't you make some 3 drills in here? Just like here, here, here. Yeah, that's good. So we pre-drill 3 holes into this little vertical stop block. There we go. There you got them. That's right. Now, just swap it. Just a second. Okay, right there. The other side is not touching. That was too far. So take those out. Try to. You don't have to take them all the way out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we can measure this again. Just to get it. Be sure. So without measuring, I tried to do it without measuring, and that didn't work. So 16 3/8. And if I can snake this one down here. The T in there is making me sorry. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, hold it up to the top. There we go. I mean, to the actual wood itself. There we go. Got it. 14 3/4. So now we have the measurements. very solid. Open it up. Bye-bye. Now, we could screw another one in there. You have this drill bit right there. You can, why don't you put, now the length of the screw becomes very important since this is getting very narrow. You wouldn't put this through here, obviously. So you want it to be probably right there. Right there would be good. So, drill a hole right there. Yep, that's the one. But don't. Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't go all the way, so that's good. So pre-drill the hole. Now make sure that it goes on to 13, something like that. Because you can always go more later. Push on that. You got it. Nice. We'll probably put one more later, but we might have to take these out.
Take what out?
Nice. Maybe try to do a little more sportsman. Yeah. What you can do is unscrew it. A little further, and then just nice. Ta-da! The Wathier bed system. Ooh, that was close. It got my.
Oh.
That would have been really bad.
Yeah.
That would have been like broken finger. Pinched?
Drew my hand across the wood.
What got in, there's the load line they talked about. So it's pretty much right up to it. We probably can have to close the door to see. You can see there's plenty of gap there, so it could actually move back even further if we needed it to. Putting an extra screw in on the front foot. What I forgot all about was actually this is a rotating back piece of wood here, and I just screwed it down. So now we have to work on putting two hinges, one right there, one right there, and then this will be able to lift up in the back. So I'm just making circles with marks in all the holes. We will pre-drill in the center. Ta-da! Yes. Now he used a piece of wood. So what I thought about doing, the Vantastic Pacifica gentleman put a 2x4 across the back, but I'm just going to actually measure and put a little shim right here, maybe put a T-plate or something like that, a mending plate between the two here, so that as you push in the back, it doesn't cantilever up that way. Although I'm going to strap down the whole thing, so probably doesn't really matter, but I figure it can't hurt to put something right underneath here. So I measured it an inch and a quarter and an inch and 3/4. Maybe that'll work. We'll see. That's what happens when you go to an angle. Usually I start it up straight in, then probably want the bigger one here. Maybe it'll work. Yeah, I mean,
It's just to hold it there, right?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it could get
As long
bumped
as
up.
it's
It
on
could,
there.
it could break. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter though. That's good. To secure the bed to the frame, we got some Harbor Freight, or we had them already, ratchet straps that we used the back eye bolt and the front eye bolt right there. I gotta roll those up. We threaded it through there, through the edge, down the edge, and underneath, just like Nick had done. These are black. I mean, orange. His were black. Make it look nicer, but at least they work. And then we did it on both sides. So we bought a full-size mattress, as I said earlier, from Walmart, Spa Sensations. It says you're not supposed to take the cover off, but I was able to unzip it. We took the cover off, and now this is, I guess it's 54 inches wide. We need to cut it down to at least 48 inches wide, which is what we have in the van, and then we might have to go even shorter. We're trying to figure out how different ways we can do that. So right now what we're going to do is I'm just cutting the top off of this on the sides, because we're going to be cutting this. So I went along the whole side. Now we can roll this back. Glue it on there. And let's leave it right there. So then we have to 48. Let me get a 48, pretty close. A Sharpie.
Just the green.
Yeah, just easy to.
It's all glued in some sections.
Oh, is it? Okay. Blocking the video. So go along the whole thing. Get that first top memory foam layer off, or at least cut. It's stuck in there.
Cake. Forbidden cake.
Forbidden cake.
Cursed cake.
So we cut the side of the mattress, and now we are going to angle it so the backrest can move over the top of it. So this is 20 1/4 we measured. So then this will be the angle cut right there. Right along there. On the line. Maybe you can grab it right here. How am I going on the line?
Yep, you're going. Can we do it from the other side? Like turn around? Or I don't know
How's it going?
it's going a little bit to the right, but nothing. That's good.
So now we're gonna, where the arm rails come in. Check it out and hope we didn't waste $180. So we can camera that worked out well, and I'm going to open and close it again, and I'm going to just climb in there and then sit so you can see the headroom. You can sit and see the headroom first. And you're what, 5'11"?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. 5'10", 5'11". Comes over the edge, we may have the angle. Come over. You can see the fault line. We might trim away a little bit over there in the far area right there so it comes over even easier. The scissors. So now we got to figure out the covers for those things. There we are. Mattress cut open. They have a little bit of headroom.
Kind of.
And we'll put the fridge right there and figure out a sink and water table over there. Like, these are the finished products for the mattress. We knew a young woman who was a good seamstress, and she went out with us to Joann Fabrics and purchased some upholstery fabric from the closeout area, so saved a ton of money there. It cost about $40-50 after the discounts they had. Otherwise it would have been $150 for this. And then she sewed this for us and put zippers in. You can see how she shrank it for that little in section. And there are zippers on the bottom so we can get this apart. And then she also made the front section as well. Made beautiful corners, and fits perfectly, and they're at an angle as we cut them. So they now look a little bit more presentable, and since they're upholstery fabric, it should last a little bit longer. So today I'm working on putting the lift struts, or what Van Pacifica called actuators, into the back of the van. And I noticed on his build that he actually put some wood blocks here as support mechanisms for the lift struts. So I just cut a 3-inch piece of 2x4 I had left over, pre-drilled the 3 holes because it made it a lot easier then to drill it in when it was in place. And I just mounted them right at just in front of the pivot point of the lift, the back section, and hopefully I didn't make it too close that I can still get that out. Although it actually looks a little close, I might need to take that out so I can get those. We'll see on the straps holding the thing down. The next thing is to actually install these struts. I got them on Amazon. They came in different poundage. I think these were 67 pounds. These were like the default ones that I found. And these brackets, it says right, R for right, and L for left. I don't know. I'll have to look at the instructions, but I'll look into that in a moment. And you can see on there right and left. And we will see what that looks like. Back in a minute. It turns out it was too close, so I unscrewed it and moved it back a 1/2 inch, so now there's a gap for that strap to go in and out. And what I did realize also as well is that these lift struts do not come with any hardware, screws for to mount it, so I have to go out. And these holes are very large, and I don't know, I guess I'll have to figure out what type of screws work best in that. So I'll take this out to Home Depot with me and make sure I can get something that would work on here. What kind of, just about lag bolts kind of head or something. I don't know. We'll have to see what's more of a flatter head versus the tapered one that comes with normal deck screws. Got a package of screws that work pretty well. They're tapered, so they really aren't sitting flush, but it seems like they're working okay, and they're deep enough and they're thick enough. And this is what the instructions said, or how the instructions said to mount them. So we did that and measured it, and as you can see right here, it just closes inside to where the wood is. I was missing a few. I thought I got more in the package than we did, so I had to use some screws and some washers that I had at home, which was a pain, but they seem to be working fine. Just make sure when you pre-drill you don't go through the plywood. Not that it would be the end of the world, but you don't want a screw sticking up and potentially hurting someone or tearing fabrics. And it stays up automatically, but without the mattress. But with the mattress on, there's plenty of weight, and it keeps it down. I bought just recently some hooks, eye and a hook, that I'm going to add right here, so when I take this out of the vehicle, it won't flop around. I haven't done that yet, but that should be pretty straightforward. I hope you enjoyed the van build, and feel free to post a comment. I'll try to answer to help out however I can, and have a good day. Take care.